Okay, welcome back everyone, and this is your Vajrang. And in this video, we will try to find, or we'll try to extract, or we'll try to download the pictures. We'll try to download the pictures into the cell phone folder. So we'll try to extract the value from the cell phone, and we'll try to create a folder, and I try to add all the images that are generated or that we are having in this particular image or this particular picture object into a folder. So that's what we will do, and we'll do it for all the 50 items. Let's see how we can do that. If you haven't checked with my previous videos, go ahead and check it. We created an Excel file with all the JSON values using iteration or in a loop. Let's go without any further ado. Let's go ahead and download all the files from this particular picture path. So if I just go ahead and try to search for this picture, and let's try to open a new browser, and here is my browser, and let's try to find the value. So this is the image, and we have multiple API calls to be made to make this working. So here we have one more image, and here we have a different image. So here we have JPG. So here let's go ahead and add. So this is the smallest picture resolution. Let's try to download all the three images. So again, go to the basics. What do we need to do? Go to results. In that results of 0, we have this picture, but in this picture we are not having this an array, we are having this an object. So we can directly get the values from the object, but along with the picture we are trying to get the phone or cell number. Let's go with anyone. So how to get the values? Results of 0, and then in the cell I can get the value. Let's go back to the code. If you haven't checked my previous videos, go ahead and check my previous videos to try to understand how exactly we did this. But here, instead of extracting the values, because we have already done that, what I'll do, I'll try to copy this, and here instead of having it as part 1, I'll try to add one more file. I'll try to copy this. So download images or any kind of files from JSON. So how can we do that? Let's go back to project, refresh, and here download images from JSON. Let's open that. Okay, here we don't need a data table, but what exactly do we need is, let's try to maintain a data table to write the data into still into Excel. But along with that, what we will try to do, we'll try to check with the path of the image. So how to get that? Here we already have some values where we are trying to get the name, gender, and email. Along with that, let's add image paths. Here let's go ahead and add JSON object dot toString. Let's add large, and then concatenate with this particular result. So here we have results of 0, and then picture of large. Let's take picture from here. Results of 0, picture of, and then let's go ahead and add large. So in the same way, we have medium and thumbnail as well. I will try to add those as well. But if you don't know how we are doing this, check out the video series of this link extraction. First video, second video, I have explained it. I will give out the links in the description. So let's go ahead and add the other values as well. Copy, paste. Here let's add medium, and then let's add small. Okay, let's try to take the values medium, and then this is thumbnail. So let's try to add thumbnail. Exactly. So let's copy thumbnail from here. So this is the key names. So this is what the API call is providing us. Okay, so we are having everything: large, thumbnail, medium, we have everything. Let's go ahead and try to find out what are the values that we are getting from here. I will execute this only once so that we'll get to see the value, and I will have a breakpoint here, and let's use debug file. If you think that this is too advanced, go from the first video so that will be easier. for you to understand. We are having female and the name and then the email, and large we are having a URL, and medium we have a URL, and then for thumbnail we have a URL. So let's stop it and let's go with the values, how to get the values. So here, do you see that we are having a URL? So we need to make one more HTTP request, and this HTTP request will be used to get the values. So hit on OK. So let's make 3 HTTP requests, or we can use one and we can loop in, but let's try to make it easier. So this HTTP request will try to download the large file, large image, and this HTTP request will try to download the medium, and the next one will try to download the thumbnail. So we are having 3 HTTP requests to download 3 image files. Let's go with large and let's see. So we already have a URL key from here. So I can directly copy from it, because this is the value that I need to use to get the URL of the file. In the large, I will try to give in the headers. There is no need for you to go from the beginning. You can just try to give URL here. Here in this particular point, I can select any endpoint. I can get the value from here. So this is the URL that I'm going to get. And this particular value, so there is one more option. Okay, here is what we have. In the resource path, the path to which the file written by the request should be saved. So this is the file path that we are having. So we are trying to save it with any particular name. Okay, how can we try to decide which name it is? So from here, what we will do is we'll try to add some static value, that is large.jpg, and we'll try to update it. So this is large.jpg. In the same way, if you see here, we are trying to, what we have done, we did endpoint URL, and then we went with resource path. Let's also go with medium and thumbnail. So what are the values that we are going to add here? Again, go back to endpoint, add an endpoint, and here we need to give medium thumbnail. So here, instead of large, let's go with medium. So this key should be the same key that is available in here. So that's how you are going to get the values correctly. And then let's go with the resource path. And this resource path is what I need. And then medium.jpg. This is the picture format that I'm adding. So we are trying to get JPG. If you are trying to get in Excel, then just add XLSX. Okay. And then let's go ahead and add an endpoint again. And then let's go with thumbnail. Hit on OK. And then let's go with resource path. That is thumbnail.jpg. So we have 3 paths and we are trying to download all the 3 values. So this is the only thing that you need to download, or that is the only thing that you need to do to download the file. Let's have a breakpoint over here. Let's debug the file. So what are we doing? We are trying to make a HTTP request to get the complete JSON. After making a complete JSON, we are trying to deserialize it. And after deserializing, we are trying to get the paths of the file. And here, if you see, this is data dot, so this is file path, that is for Excel. And if you see here, request large, and if I continue, and if you go into the project, and if you see, just refresh it, and see, there will be file that will be downloaded, that is large. Now the file is downloaded, that is large. Let's hit on step into, this is medium, and if you just refresh again, This is medium. And if you further continue, you will get a thumbnail picture as well. Here you have a thumbnail picture. Okay, you have all the files. Now, something that we have decided earlier was we will add everything to a folder, and that folder should be this cell phone folder path. So how to do that? Again, let's go back to the code and let's try to write some logic. Stop. So after you made all the downloads, or before making all the downloads, what we can do is we can just search, or we can just try to extract the cell path. Here you can see something like folder exists. So what this folder exists will do, this will actually check if the folder path is available or not. So this folder path should be there in data, and in this data I need to create a new folder. So this data is static, so I'll give it data, but in here I will try to add something that I require to get the value from cell. So how can I get it? Results of 0, and then cell will give me the value. And if I want, I can also add the ID, which is a different value, but that doesn't have any value. So let's go with results of 0 of cell will give me the value. So for easier understanding or to reuse it, what I can do is I can just try to add it sn statement, and in this sn statement I will try to paste it in here, and here I'll give str current record folder path. So if you see here, current record folder path is what we are having, and that should be with data and then the cell number, whatever the cell number that we have. And if this current record folder path exists, okay, the save result should be folder exists, control K, bool, folder exists. Okay, so here what are we getting? We are getting if the folder is available or not. If the folder is not available, then we will use an if condition to check if the folder is existing or not. If, and here let's go with bool folder exists. If the folder exists, then do anything, but just show me the else statement. Here create directory is what I can use. Create directory, create folder, and in this folder path I can just give str folder path. If the folder path is already available, there is no need for me to create a new folder. So that's the reason I'm going with create folder path. So let's try to recall what we are trying to do. We are first trying to make a HTTP request to get this JSON response, deserializing the JSON to get into object, and then trying to add a file path that is for Excel file, but a folder path to download all the images. Let's see. Here you have a resource path, like okay, I'm downloading it to data folder, but how can I download it directly to that folder path or that we have created? So here I just need to add a different value, or I just need to append it something like this: path dot combine. There are two ways to do it. I'm telling you the first way. So path dot current record path, and then comma, so this JPG. So this will give me the path, and then large will be added to the next. There is also a second way how I can concatenate the string path. The other way is str record path, and then I can just add plus and then slash medium. So I'm going into the path, and then I'm just adding slash medium so that I can get the complete path. So these are the two ways that I follow, but normally I go with the path.combine, but because if there is any path issues, I can easily get it. Path.combine, and then let's go with str current folder path, comma, and then let's go with this one. So now I have all the values, large, medium, and thumbnail. Now I can add the results as well, and then I can hit a counter, and then I can update. Let's try to run this flow and then check at least for once or twice to see if the folders are getting generated, and then we'll continue. Step into. And by the way, we are not writing an Excel. So the Excel will be written after completing the 50 executions. If you haven't seen why it is 50, please see my previous video. But we are trying to create a folder and then we are trying to add the value to it. So the HTTP request is completed, JSON value is extracted, and if you see here, we have all the values. And here is what we have: data, current record. So the current record folder path is data slash the cell value. So what is the current record path? Let's check in the locals. Where do we have locals? It's in the breakpoint activities. Okay, I will try to use watch, or else I can also try to use immediate panel. Okay, here is where we have locals, and here we have control F str JSON. Let's see. So if you see here, data and then the complete path. I think there was an issue here. If you see that we don't have a slash, so the folder path will be created as data and then the complete path. So this particular object is not giving me the correct value. So what I'll try to do, inside data folder, I need to have this folder path. Let's go with data and then let's add a slash. Now this will give me the correct value. So inside data, we will have a separate folder. It will continue. The file path is generated, the folder path, current folder path is this one. Let's step into. Okay, the folder is not available. It should go into create folder and it should create a folder. So before executing create folder, I will try to show you the folder exists or not. So we have data, and in this data, we don't have any separate folder. But as soon as we run this step, the folder will be generated. So in here, let's see, this is the folder and the file should be added to this folder. Step into. Okay, and then HTTP request is made. This is done. Let's refresh it again to see the changes. Folder large is created. Step into, just refresh it again. Large medium is created. Let's also see it like this. So we have data. In that data, we have the file path or the particular mobile number. So I'll try to keep it on the right. Let's have JSON on the left. Okay, and then let's go ahead and step into again to see the change. So we have all the three files downloaded. Now it is adding it to a data row. So what I will try to do, I will try to execute it without any stop, and then let's see if the values are getting generated and if I have all the folders created or not. File, run file. So I will try to go back and open it in data. So this should execute faster. We have two folders created. Folders are generating. Okay, after 50 folders, this should stop. If you just open one of the folder, we'll have all the files. Okay, so this is how I'm trying to download, or I'm able to successfully download all the files from the API call or from a JSON. So just give it out a try and see. Okay, this is throwing me an exception because I have this particular Excel on. I can just close it. And so this comes the basic understanding of JSON and how to work with JSON and Excel and how to download the files. And if you have any more queries and if you want me to do any further videos on this, just comment out in this comment box on what exactly and how, what are the scenarios that you are looking for, so that we can do it. But this code will be available online in the GitHub. So in the video description, you can see the GitHub link and try to download all the code that you want. All the best. Like, share, and subscribe, and give this video a thumbs up. And this is your Vajrang